Hi, welcome back to Panic Butter. This is Tony. Thanks for joining me. You know the questions, but are there answers? We'll find out.
I've been seeing them at like 4 in the morning.
Have you?
Like twice.
I mean, that is the exact sound I heard the other
Hear it?
That is just insane. You didn't hear the other one. Just like
Yep, you've been trying to take it all in over the last few weeks, huh? Well, you knew it. There's more. We'll keep it short. Get right into it. Up next, here we go.
So the drones are doing cryptic messages on Christmas radio stations in the city. Listen. This sounds like right out of a horror movie, but this is what's going on over people's houses. But listen to this.
Oh my fucking god.
It's like a horror movie. That is demonic activity right there. I don't know if a portal has been opened, but look at the activity of the so-called drones. And these are like orbs. So what do you guys think? Make sure that you're following this account. And I believe a lot is going on right now over the next few months. So get prepared. Get your house in order. Hey, there's no fear here, only faith in God. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a lot there, huh? What do you think about that? No, there's more. There always is. Won't never stop. Here we go. Up next. Yeah, it's all there. More and more crazy stuff every single day. Question, is it real? Where's it from? Who is it? Will it ever stop? That's the question. You know, there's more. Yep, it's happening everywhere. Just gotta get it on film, that's it. Walk outside, look up. That's usually all you gotta do. Just like these. Here we go.
No way! Yo! No way. You got good footage? Good footage? Oh, the shit fucking crashed.
One down. How many to go, though? There's more. There always is. It's gonna get intense. Buckle up. It's getting pretty good. Here we go.
964 sightings of SUV-sized drones have been recorded across New Jersey, some of which have even been over critical military infrastructure. This heat map shared with us by local police highlights the shocking true scale of the mysterious drone activity across the Garden State. The drones have caused widespread concern across the nation as the government fails to provide any concrete answers.
Yeah, it's the government talking. Come on. Do you believe it? You believe what you see, not what they tell you. What are you seeing? That's the question. Get it on film. Here we go.
Well, it turns out that in the United States, in New Jersey, some rather mysterious drones have been prowling around. Not just one. There are already several, and people are already dismayed. They are already quite worried because they don't know if it is a person who is simply playing a joke and that this same person has modified them so that they have a slightly weirder shape, a little more mysterious, thus making people think that they are unidentified flying objects or extraterrestrial aliens. That is, these things that they do so that people are distracted, put their attention on something else while it's happening. Something important, because so far no one knows anything. The FBI itself is investigating these drones or ships to determine if these drones are from the United States or if they are flying objects that have a link with foreign countries. But with other countries, what must be admitted is that they do have a rather strange to a little unusual shape. What do you think? Are they?
Yep, that is the question. But is there an answer? Who are you going to ask? Let's find out what the government says again. Here we go.
Are we under attack or about to be? Are we being spied on by a foreign adversary?
Drones have been seen in the sky every night since November 18th from dusk to 11 p.m.
Millions of Americans have their eyes to the sky. There have been thousands of reported drone sightings, mostly in the skies over New Jersey.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are?
Another drone.
That's right. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
We have no idea where these drones come from.
For almost a month, swarms of drones the size of small cars have been spotted over parts of New Jersey, alarming local residents.
I look to my left and I see two big drones. They were propeller-driven, going very slowly.
And unnerving lawmakers who say they popped up in at least 10 counties. Is your operating?
Oh yeah, it's always intense and it's always good. Join me, hit the subscribe button, be right back at the beginning of the next one. Till then, let's move on. Here we go.
It's a drone. It's a big ass drone. This is the biggest drone I've ever seen. No, there was one like that. Big ass drone. This is the biggest drone I've ever seen. No.
Close up. There we go. Let's get some more info. get another opinion. What do you think? Here we are.
Well, it's sure starting to look like the New Jersey drone mystery has been solved, at least in large part. And more than that, the culprits behind these drone swarms may have also been behind similar swarms spotted over Langley Air Force Base last December. And that culprit seems to be NASA, or rather a long list of organizations and corporations partnered with NASA on what they call the Advanced Air Mobility Mission. Now, near as I can tell, this theory was first posited by a TikTok creator named JK Ultra, but it first caught my attention thanks to that Intel guy. Then, since he pointed me in the right direction, I've been doing some reading, and I can now tell you that last December, the U.S. Transportation Command, Air Mobility Command, the National Aerospace Research and Technology Park, and the Atlantic County Economic Alliance announced the establishment of a testing corridor between Delaware and New Jersey for a long list of military, commercial, and academic drone technologies. And according to their press release, these drone tests would not only be conducted in and around military installations, but could instead be launched and recovered from anywhere within this drone testing corridor, which they identify as between Joint Base McGuire-Dix-Lakenhurst in New Jersey and Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. And according to that federal press release, this testing corridor is meant for the rapid development of commercial, academic, and federal government drone systems that could benefit future applications for the strategic airlift capabilities of the U.S. Air Force. But I can already hear you saying, well, if it was this NASA-led program, why haven't they come forward? And I honestly couldn't tell you, but the evidence suggests this isn't the first time that happened. Last December, there were similar reports of mysterious drone swarms operating over U.S. military installations, like Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. And near the end of December, NASA released a press release explaining that they'd been testing automated drone systems beyond line of sight and without visual observers on pre-planned routes around Virginia. Now, they didn't come out and say that it was their drones spotted over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia last December, but it is worth noting that the facility they launched their drones from was less than 2 miles away from Langley Air Force Base. And now there have been countless sightings of unusual drones operating in the airspace over New Jersey and the surrounding area. And that just so happens to largely coincide with the announced and established testing corridor for advanced drone technologies in the same area run by the same program. And while I have reached out to NASA to see if they will confirm or deny their involvement in this recent rash of sightings or previous sightings over Virginia last year, I can say right now, as that Intel guy said in his video yesterday, Occam's razor sure does point to this.
What do you think about that, huh? Pretty interesting. Let's move on. Let's go. See what else is out there. Here we go.
This is an orb brought to you by ABC 7 News, and there are only one of two possibilities, in my humble opinion, on what this is. And I'm going to get into it in this video. Here's the same thing, just with a closer view. And let me first start by saying, I don't think there are many people in this entire realm that have the ability to bring to you the information I am going to in this video, because I've been investigating this exact phenomenon for the past 2 years. It all started 2 years ago when I was waking up and I was asking the heavens to show me a sign that there was more to this place than what we're told. And lo and behold, a literal pulsing orb of light showed up in my presence and seemed to be trying to communicate with me. You can see here. This wasn't a balloon, this isn't a weather balloon, this was some sort of pulsing orb of light. And seeing that orb sent me on a quest to investigate what this world really was. And the next place I went was the stars. I started investigating the stars. And this is what a star actually looks like for people who have never looked with their own eyes. And you know what's in these stars? Dogs. There are dogs in stars for some reason. And you know where there are also dog images? in those orbs that are much closer than the stars. And you might be able to see them here, and if not, I'll show you closer in a second. But there's a nose and two eyes. There's a literal dog face. And there's a dog face in every little shimmer of this orb, just like in the stars. Here's a side-by-side of Sirius, the dog star, and that orb. And let me point this out, just in case you don't see. There's a little nose and mouth and two eyes. So a dog head here looks pretty similar too. There's a little mouth and nose and two little dog eyes. And in my humble opinion, moderators, my opinion, the reason the drones are up there is they are investigating these orbs. And if you didn't see my post on how these exact drones are a US patent, go check that out. Now here's where we get into the what the heck are these? In my opinion, like I said, there's only two possibilities. The first option, and the one I lean a little bit more heavily towards, is it's spiritual in nature. We are all spirits with souls inhabiting these meat suits of a body for an experience. And maybe the veil is being lifted a little bit, and we're able to get a glimpse a little bit more than we usually do into the spirit world. Have you ever seen what it looks like at the moment of conception when a sperm meets an egg? Kind of looks like our energetic frequency soul being comes into our new bodies. Now here's option two, and the one I don't like, but we need to keep an open mind to. Maybe these are holographic in nature, and maybe there are dogs in there because the controller of this world like to mock God every chance they get. And well, God spelled backwards is dog. And maybe the stars in the firmament are literally being projected up there, and they're hiding little dog faces in there as their way of, we told you, and you're too dumb to figure it out, kind of their revelation of the method, or they're relieving themselves of their karmic debt. Look, there are dog faces there, and you believe they're stars trillions of miles away. Or look, there are dog faces there, and you believe that's some sort of spiritual entity. I don't know. What I do think, though, is they know exactly what these are. And I think something even bigger is on its way. And this is where I like to say, what do you do now? What's next? How do I know what's true and what's not? Well, there's some things that God has given us, and things like fasting will give you a higher level of discernment. You will be able to literally tell real from fake because you will have a closer connection to God. And another thing you can do is pray. I've fasted and I've prayed, and God has literally shown me things. But if you're still stuck on a ball, thinking you live on a ball and that this star looks like this just because I don't have a good enough camera or telescope to see what it actually looks like, well then, my friend, when the deception comes, you are going to be in a world of hurt. The beautiful thing is, you can go find dogs and stars on your own. Go to any amateur and look up what a star looks like and slow it down. And if you have a good eye, you're going to find dogs, because they're not just in the dog star series, they're in all stars. So what do you do from here? Well, I do some fasting and some praying and just get that discernment ready, because I think this period coming between today and the next few weeks, something's coming. Oh, and my actual hope is that this is a beautiful thing, that we are just literally seeing the light being spirits of our dogs. Hopefully that's what it is. But as always, this is all for entertainment purposes. I created this in Photoshop just to entertain you for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And I know those drones don't really know what's going on, just like our government doesn't really know what's going on. It's all for entertainment purposes. They're not really trying to confuse us, because a confused person is a fearful person, and a fearful person is easier to control. Entertainment only.
Yeah. Got you thinking though, huh? Just like always. More to see, more to hear, more to think about. Let's move on.
There's another one.
For almost a month, swarms of drones the size of small cars have been spotted over parts of New Jersey, alarming local residents.
I look to my left and I see two big drones. They were propeller driven, going very slowly.
And unnerving lawmakers who say they popped up in at least 10 counties. The issue prompting a meeting Wednesday attended by roughly 100 mayors and state representatives.
Are you telling me that in America, Somebody can start flying drones and we have no clue what's going on?
Garden State leaders say they're confounded by the federal government's response and that of their own governor, who's preaching calm. Perhaps even more concerning, military officials say they've documented at least 11 unauthorized drone incursions over nearby Picatinny Arsenal, a weapons development center. And President-elect Trump's Bedminster Golf Club is also in the area. Local police have been launching their own drones into the sky to give chase. So far, the mysterious drones continue to elude them.
Yep. They've got it. You have it? If you do, put it up. Let's see it. There's more. There always is. Here we go.
New Jersey drone stuck in tree.
He's not going anywhere. But is there more? That's it. You can see him down, but can you get close? And if you do, what happens? That's the question. Here we go.
At least 17 U.S. military bases near Chinese-owned farmland, reportedly seeing a surge in drone activity and sightings in recent weeks. The sightings happening near bases in Hawaii and installations in Utah, California, Maine, and Florida. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCall has been warning about the drones in focus these last couple of weeks. He says they're from China.
My judgment, based on my experience, is that those that are over our military sites are adversarial and most likely are coming from the People's Republic of China. Communist China is very good at this stuff. And we know they bought land around military bases. This would be very consistent with their policy over the last couple of years.
Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville was with me this week. He weighed in on this yesterday. Watch this. Are we buying drones still from DJI, a Chinese drone maker?
Oh, we're buying drones from China. There's no doubt about that. I talked to a drone maker the other day, and basically I said, why are we buying drones from China? They have better technology, Maria, than what we have that handles a lot of the technology parts, like that works with different type of materials, different type of plastics. They make them cheaper, but they make them better. Our technology is way, way behind, and I guess that's the reason we're buying them from them. But again, that's something else that needs to be discussed with armed services, both the House and the Senate.
Joining me now is the Gatestone Institute Senior Fellow. He is author of Plan Red, China's Project to Destroy America. Gordon Chang back with us. Gordon, I find this stunning that we are still buying drones from China. And here we are trying to guess what the drones in the sky are that we're all talking about for the last couple of weeks. My guess is, and I've been saying this, that it is communist China. Your reaction?
It certainly is communist China for many of these drones, maybe even a majority of them. You know, the increased tempo of these drone flights against our military bases is occurring at the same time as there's increased frequency of incursions and attempted incursions of these bases by Chinese and other nationals. Really what is occurring here is that they are preparing to attack the United States from American soil. I don't know why we need an engraved invitation from Beijing. It's clear what's going to happen. We are going to get hit, and we're not taking the necessary precautions to protect these bases and to protect the American people.
Well, do you feel protected? Just be honest. Let's get some more. Let's find out. Here we go. Next up.
On February 21st, 2021, a flight from Cincinnati to Phoenix was cruising at 35,000 feet over New Mexico when the following was reported by the pilot.
Have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us that, I hate to say, this looked like a long cylindrical object. It almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast. It went right over the top.
Based on the description, the object was moving at 460 miles per hour. Military-operated radar is designed to scan for objects such as cruise missiles, but nothing was detected that fits the pilot's description. Considering the military conducts numerous weapons tests in New Mexico, the possibility of a radar-eluding missile remains on the table, but the White Sands Missile Test Site has stated no tests were conducted that day. Rather than a missile, could the object have been similar to the tic-tac-shaped UFO witnessed by the pilots of the USS Nimitz back in 2004?
They're all going against the wind. The wind's in the west.
In February of 2020, a passenger flight is en route about 30,000 feet over the Colombian city of Medellin when the pilot noticed a strange object flying by that he captured on his cell phone. This dark, cube-like object is estimated to be between 10 and 15 feet wide. Over the recent years, Colombia has been a hotbed for unexplained UFO sightings. This cube-like object shares similarities to aerial phenomenon witnessed by a fighter pilot in 2018 off the East Coast and is still being investigated by the U.S. government.
Yeah, government will investigate forever. Question is, when they find something out, will they let you know? Will they let us know? Answer is no. Let's move on.
In 2021, it was the 14th of December. It was reported across the media, from BBC to the Ministry of Defense throughout the UK and the world, over Syria, that there was, in quotes, a hostile drone that was shot by the Royal Air Force. It was shot at, I will say, by the Royal Air Force. And I think the reason why it spread like immediately the next day through the press and for the next 4 or 5 days is because this was the first air-to-air firing from the Royal Air Force in 40 years.
Since the Falklands War, since the Falkland Islands War.
So it's a big deal. Right. So on one hand, the media is reporting you've got this terrorist drone, but the entire intelligence community is saying these are UAP. We don't know who operate them. They have flight characteristics that are other than what we have.
We know that the U.S. military saw 2 of these things at the same time. One of them that the Royal Air Force went after. The other one just zipped away and took off and disappeared.
Right. So this image, which we'll show, it's the one that was actually historically fired upon, which again, it is classified as UAP within the intelligence community. This is not something that is identified.
Let us see this drone.
Really bizarre.
Let's take a look at it.
We call it the Syria Dome UAP. And whatever this device is, there were 2 of them, right? And by the time the Royal Air Force got up and caught up with them, and they fired a ASRAAM missile, which is, I think he uses heat seeking. The other one,
Advanced Short Range Air-to-Air Missile.
Advanced Short Range Air-to-Air Missile. So what happens is by the time they catch up with this pair that were there under intelligent control, this other one just took off. They did report that in the initial reports that there were 2 of them, but this is the one that was fired upon. Now, we don't know if it was hit. We don't know if it hit the ground. But again, I just want to drive home. This is the public's being told one thing. This is classified as a UAP within our government and within the intelligence circle.
Yeah, there it is. See? They have it. They know about it, but they hold it and don't tell anybody about it. You heard of a fire in the sky? Check this out.
This is wild, and this just happened over Ohio. So this pilot was saying that he was seeing this UFO UAP thing flying around. What he saw, it flew up into the clouds, and he said as soon as it hit the clouds, this is what happened. He doesn't know what the object was. He doesn't know if it blew up. He doesn't know if this was exhaust, but it looks quite crazy. Look at that. It looks like the cloud is catching on fire and some gases. He said that he landed pretty close by in one of those fields, and within seconds, it was all like corridored off, and there were these officials that wouldn't say what agency or where they were from, and they just said that he could not enter the area or the arena. I'm not one for conspiracies, and so I'm not going to comment too heavily on this, but I do want to know what's going on. Was anyone in Ohio? I believe this was over Youngstown that witnessed.
Hey, yo, the homies pulled up. Yo, why you leaving?
Yeah, don't go nowhere. Land. Get out. Establish communication. Let's see what's happening. We got more. Here we go.
This is a UFO that was observed for 22 minutes near the International Space Station. I think it was in 2020 or before. The object is of a shape and size that is not recognizable as any known rocket or capsule, and appears to move in a straight line upward and disappear. It could be an alien spaceship, a secret U.S. Air Force stealth device, or some new type of technology, but it is something peculiar. The NASA camera zooms in on the object, but the crew members seem unaware of it or do not mention it much, although the object is described as being pyramid or hive-shaped.
Lot going on up there, huh? Lot of questions about that area. But now's not the time. We got more. Here we go. That's pretty good. Up next, can you see them? What does it take to see them? And is it real? Let's find out. Here we go.
Why did the government ban this? In the 1920s, the military accidentally invented night vision goggles that could see into the astral realm. You see, a scientist named Walter Kilner invented a blue substance called dicyanin, which was the main ingredient in the night vision goggles just given to the military.
So our friend here has all of his facts wrong, and it's not entirely his fault. I think he's the victim of the social media game of telephone, where a story starts out over here, and by the end of all the creators regurgitating it, it ends up with all the details completely screwed up. Our company, Museum of Tarot, is the only company in the world that still makes authentic dicyanin aura goggles, so let me clear up all the misconceptions from this video. Dicyanin being used in goggles to do medical diagnosis was started by Dr. Walter Kilner 100 years ago. In fact, I have his original copy of his book here with some of his actual writings, and a pair of his original Kilner screen goggles. Kilner was a medical doctor. He wasn't using dicyanin goggles for anything spooky. But the spiritualist community of the era seized upon the technology and started using it for clairvoyant and psychic reasons. They swore up and down that continued use of the goggles would allow people to develop the ability to see auras in energy fields. And they were correct. He shows a clip from my friend Parker, Dr. Parkenstein's video, where Parker is using our aura goggles to see his aura. And we've had many dozens of other content creators tag us in their videos showing their results from our product. And I myself have put up many videos showing various monuments and sacred sites, as well as people through these goggles, and they were great. But one thing this creator gets wrong is dicyanin is not blue, and it doesn't come from amethyst crystals. Dicyanin is purple, and I even mixed some up on camera in some of my older videos. Dicyanin was not used in the Starlight scopes in Vietnam. That is a completely separate story that often gets mixed up with the dicyanin story. And I did a video last year showing naval documents that detail what people were actually seeing through these Starlight scopes. And yes, they were reporting seeing things like demons and apparitions. How much of that had to do with the stress and drugs of Vietnam, along with the new technology, I'll let you be the judge. But that is not dicyanin. This creator shows a video from a guy in Russia looking through a clear piece of glass and seeing a UFO in the sky, and that's a hoax. That's not dicyanin glass, that's CGI. But after your eyes acclimate with dicyanin, it is possible that you can start seeing things in the sky, as we've had reported time and time again, as I spoke about in my video about Trevor James and They Live in the Sky, who did work with some of these special filters and photographed these objects back in the 1950s. This story is going to keep circulating for a long time, and a lot of people are going to keep getting it wrong. So I'll keep jumping in to remind people what the reality actually is. And I've put out a tremendous amount of factual, documented research on this subject in my other videos. Museum of Tarot will continue to offer authentic dicyanin aura goggles and reprints of these original works. So if you'd like to see for yourself, see the link in my bio.
There you go. That's a wrap. Hit that subscribe button and join me. Meet me back at the beginning of the next one. Have a good evening.